you guys very much for joining us Sunday afternoon. We're going to be talking about using shipping container for homes and buildings and all this nice stuff. My name is Taha. I'm president of Precision Structural Engineering. Also, I was a former professor of civil engineering at OIT, Oregon Institute of Technology. We know that when we start something new, our industry will use the warming, and we have global warming. Whether you believe or not, it does happen when you start producing like cement and the steel from scratch. You produce a lot of bad gases. Also, in wood construction with homes, there is mold problem these days because the quality of wood is not very good. It has more sugar. And the material I'm going to share with you is renewable, recyclable for sure, and it is bug-proof. Termite don't like the taste of the steel, and it's way better than the quality of wood. On top of that, it is fireproof. Look at this subdivision here, and you see if one house caught on fire, unfortunately, sometimes the rest of the neighborhood or the block is gone. We need to make it green, and if you're sold on the green, we need to do the 3 R's, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. Actually, we're going to be reusing and recycling right now by using cargo containers. Recycle the steel, and as you see, we have a lot of all the cars, train cars, refrigerator, all the things, we have it, and we can repurpose it to use it for new construction. By all means, I don't mean reuse, do like this guy here, but I mean is we can melt the steel, have coils, and from the coil we can have studs and joists and the process from a machine that could fit in your garage. That does not need really big equipment because it's cold formed steel. From this coil to this studs and the process, it's a small machine that can fit in your garage. Here is a steel house in Medford. You see the advantages of fireproof, and it has fire in the garage, and you can see that there is a local damage in the garage, but it does not spread to the rest of the house. It is the rest of the house after the fire. The garage was destroyed, the rest of the house is still there. This wood house it's a block away, by the way, from the other one, and the one fire in the kitchen, and you can see that the entire house is destroyed. So if you'd like really to protect yourself against fire, don't depend on the fire department, depend on non-combustible material, because the fire department come to save you, not the house. Here is a 52 units apartment complex in Los Angeles, all like this steel, all non-combustible, and it's working wonderful. I want you to imagine if one person did bad thing in that 52 units, let's say they had a fire, most likely the entire building will go, but not with like this steel. Here's a nice home from like this steel. It's non-combustible, and termite don't like the taste of it. Even Uncle Sam now start to do it. Here is the Clayton Lake Advisor Center. It's made from light gauge steel. The next topic I'm going to talk about now, which is the most important to be honest with you, is cargo containers, or some people say shipping container, freight container. We import a lot of goods from different countries, and unfortunately we do not export equal amount. The result is we have a lot of shipping container in our harbor here in the state, and we could let it be wasted, rusted, or we can give it a second life and use it for construction. Remember the 3 R, reduce, and then reuse, recycle. We're going to reuse right now. I'm going to share with you beautiful homes. Again, reuse, I don't mean this way. There is a 8-story tower in Germany, and you can go upstairs and see the city and have a cup of coffee. What I'm saying is, they tell us that the shipping container really are very strong, very, very strong. We can do a lot of shipping container. As you can see, this one is for commercial, and one of the sides made as a canopy and the doors, and you can use them for a lot of purposes. You can use them for additional housing for your in-laws in the backyard. You can have it for your teens. If you're sick and tired of your teens like myself, you can use them for coffee shops. You can see a lot of them. You can use them for a lot of things. You can cut and shape and do it. I got to be honest with you though, when you start cutting in the shipping container, it loses its huge strength. The strength is reduced. That's why you need to talk to one of the engineers like myself to model it on the computer and make sure that you are safe. So anyway, you can cut and shape as you can see, and you can use it for tons of purposes. In addition to the in-laws and the teenager, you can have it a new kitchen. You can have additional kitchen space. You can have it as additional space, bedrooms for your home, or additional bathroom. One of the advantages of shipping container, guys, it could be done in a shop and moved to your house ready to go, rather than putting up with the electrician and the plumber and all these things that drive us nuts sometimes. It could be vacation home if you want to. Again, prefabricated, move to the site. Coffee shops, storage. It's really multi-purposes. It's wonderful structure that you can do a lot of it. Now, many people put the shipping containers side by side and build a home like you can see here with wood trusses. You can put some insulation outside, or this house from Bob Vila on TV, it has certain coating on it. Can you tell this house is made for a shipping container? You can hide it if you want to, but you get the strength of it. Or you could have it exposed, and I'm going to share with you. Here is my favorite way of using shipping container, guys, for housing. You can put some on the right, leave a space about 20 or 30 feet, and put another one and cover it with wood trusses. That gives you in between a lot of space as a living space. This is the most efficient way. Here is an office and shop in Medford, where we have 2 shipping containers on this side, 2 on the other side, and wood trusses in the top, and it works just great. Here is the same building again. You can see the 2 shipping containers on one side, 2-story container on the other side. Wood trusses give you beautiful, huge living space. Here is another example of one in Ply, when we have a shipping container 40 foot. We went 25 foot, put another one, and the owner chose to use that metal curved structure on the top of it. Here is a one for the military, where we have office and shop space, 2 stack, and that fabric structure on the top of them give them very nice shop with offices as well. There is another shop on 97 here in Crescent, Oregon, and you can see 2 stacks, and in this case steel trusses as a shop for one contractor. Can the container support the trusses? Heck yes, it is very strong. What's good about that project, guys, even the concrete foundation, we did not pour concrete foundation, we used recycled blocks of concrete. So the building really, Jim, was very good green-wise. The shipping container was recycled, the foundation was recycled concrete blocks, and the truss was all the steel as well. Using the shipping container for residential is not new. People were doing it across the nation and all over the world, by the way. Here is a 2-story house made from 5 containers, and you can see 5 containers, but look at the beautiful. In this case, they choose to cover the shipping container, so you really cannot tell. So what is the advantage of this one? The advantage of this one, number one, is modular. It was done in a shop, so you do it in the shop, you transport it, and you can install it in a day or 2. So it's very good for the downtown big cities. The living space was 24 foot wide because we can knock off the walls of the shipping container and make them bigger. So you can have your living room 2 container wide, or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever you want, because we do remove the walls. That particular house was 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and even balcony. Did you see that nice balcony? There is no backyard over there, sort of like Oregon. Here is a 5 container up billboard for Adidas. We did it in New York. Las Vegas Container Park. Here is Habanero restaurant made from shipping container. This is Ohio Stadium Plaza. We are doing it really from Ohio. Came to us all the way here in Klamath, Oregon, because we designed a lot of green building here, and it's about over 100 containers the plaza for the stadium for ticketing and the cafeteria. Here's another view of it. If you are in an area that doesn't need really insulation too much, tropical area, Hawaii or something, people use the shipping container and color it, and it looks great. We did one here in Eugene when we put the insulation inside. So from outside you see it. Also, there is another project in Talent, Oregon that does have the shipping container. You see it as is, which is just fine, looks good. Insulation. Guys, you can put rigid insulation on the outside or inside, as a matter of fact, or you can use the spray insulation on the outside or the inside. Your choice. If you guys would like to learn more about shipping container, the book, very nice book that made for the lay person. This guy here, Commercial Shipping Container, Small Building, Small Steel Building by Paul Sawyer. The cost of shipping container, guys, usually about $3,000 to $6,000 or $5,000 based on how good it is. And again, you can stack it 8 or 9, so we can build a 2-3 story home from you. So I shared with you 8 times the stack, but please don't do a mess like this one. This is not a safe situation, so let's do it the right way so you can be safe in your home. That concludes, guys, my talking about shipping container. We do have free consultation. If you contact me, I can give you 15-minute consultation for free. After that, of course, we have to invoice you. That will conclude the shipping container webinar seminar.